Hey there. So today I'm going to show you my basic makeup face with foundation and concealer and all those things, and I'm going to show you a few of my favorite products. Some are mass market products and some are Luxe brand products. I like to think that I have a pretty good mix of all of them. My favorite go-to under eye concealer is Age Rewind by Maybelline. I'm not really sure why I love it so much. It's got a great texture, it feels good, and it also helps with dark circles. It's also a treatment, so it's really good for that. So what I like to do is, you got to give it a few clicks. It'll click, and then under the eye, and I also like to go in just up in here as a little highlighter. Now look how much more wide awake my eyes look. So now I'm going to be using Smashbox Studio Skin in color 1.2, I believe. Yeah, 1.2. I really like this foundation. It's got an SPF 10 in it. It's got great structure to it. It stays on long. And what I'm going to do is, for the benefit of everyone, I'm going to use two separate brushes. This is a house brand brush that we sell at Shoppers. It's a Quo brush. This was one of the holiday limited editions, but all of the brushes are basically the same. And then I'm going to use a MAC brush on one side. And I'm going to show you that there is absolutely no difference between the high-end MAC brush and the lesser, inexpensive, yet amazing quality of Quo brushes. So I put a little bit on here. Always do that. And I'm actually going to start with the Quo brush. So it's basically, you got to paint. So you put a little bit on and you blend it. It's, like I said, it's just like a paintbrush. Your face is the canvas. Now, in places where it kind of is a little liney or whatever, you just go over it. Just keep patting down and see there's already a huge difference in skin texture there. And what I love about this is that while it's really good coverage, it really doesn't feel too thick while it's on. So I like that. And the reason why I like that is because when I was younger, a lot of people that know me know this story, but when I was younger, I had incredibly bad skin. So that's one side done with the Quo brush. And now we'll do the other side with the MAC brush. And tell me if you can tell a difference. I actually think, in all sincerity, that blending with the Quo brush is a lot nicer. It doesn't seem to be as streaky as the MAC brush is. But that's my own personal opinion. We are all entitled to them. So No. Tell me if you can see a difference. This is the side that was done with the Quo brush, and this is the side done with the MAC brush. I see that the Quo brush actually gives a little bit more coverage. It actually doesn't wipe away the foundation as much, whereas the MAC one, like I said, for some reason, it's very streaky. And I love my MAC brushes. Please don't get me wrong. I absolutely do. I think that MAC is a great quality brand, but in the long run, you have to pay for quality products as well as a quality brand, and you can't let a company rely on its laurels. It has to be accountable. And sadly, right now, the Quo brush is absolutely winning. All right, so that foundation brush from MAC was the number 190, and our brushes at Quo, at Shoppers, they don't have numbers on them. Well, this one doesn't anyway. But I think that it's the number 42 foundation. That would be the equivalent of that brush I just used. This is my cream blush brush. It is a MAC brush. I've had it. It's the number 130. I have had it for, gosh, I don't even know how long. And I am absolutely in love with it. So this is the last of my MAC cream blush in Sweet Will Jam, and it's just running out now. Doesn't take a lot. Cream is great for more mature skin. I find that if you're using powder, it can have a very harsh effect. Even the mineral powders can seem a little harsh on top of the skin. Here's my blush. And now what I always do is I apply a highlighter. This is my highlighter. It's MAC, and it's called Pearl. And you just put a little bit on your brush, just a tiny bit. You can use the same brush that you used for your cream blush, just like that. And it just adds a really nice highlight. And the great thing about this is that it actually will come through the powder that you put on top, which is what we're going to do now. So remember, the foundation I'm using is the Studio Skin 1.2 by Smashbox. I'm using MAC Cream Blush in Sweet Will Jam and the highlighter in Pearl. And now for my powder. Let me find it here. This is my favorite powder to use because, like I said, I had bad skin as a kid. So now as an adult, I find myself wanting to have my real skin show through as much as possible. What I'm using is, it's a MAC, it's Prep and Prime. So it's got no color to it whatsoever. It's just a clear powder. And believe it or not, if you can't afford something like this, a little bit of baby powder will do a very similar trick. So you don't need to spend the $30, $40 on the MAC Prep and Prime. You can actually just use a little bit of baby powder. There you are. See, very natural. Even the cheeks, you see, you can still see the highlight just a little tiny bit through there. So it's MAC Prep and Prime. That's my go-to. I do also love, where is it? It should be here, but it's not. I do also love, I have a Studio Fix as well, and I love the powder by Benefit, but unfortunately I have no idea where it is right now. It should be here, but it's not. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so Very simple already, right? Now, what I like to do after I powder is I brush off my eyebrows. There we go. A little bit more of a brush there. The brushes that I use in store are absolutely Quo brushes, and I have a few Smashbox brushes as well. But at home, I mostly use MAC brushes. And little known, Annabelle actually used to do brushes as well. I don't know if they're going to again, but they made some really great quality brushes. So the two eyeshadows I use for a base and for a highlight. For my base, I use Maybelline Chic Naturals number 155, and your base is going to go all over the lid. This is just great because it neutralizes any sort of color on your eyelid and helps to apply your other eyeshadows as well. So you do that, and now my little secret trick is my Annabelle brush. By the way, that was the MAC 227. It was a special edition, but it's still the regular size. You can get the 227 as well. And now I use MAC. This was also a limited edition in Fresh Ice. I believe that they still have them. I'm not sure. But what you do is you just take the little bit of a corner here, rub it on your eyeshadow like that, get right up under the eyebrow. Do you see that already? Do you see that very natural highlight that goes in there? And then I always put some in the corner of my eye there. And there. It's a very natural highlight. But what you want to do for sure is you want to blend it a bit because it can tend to look harsh if you don't blend it. How's that looking? Not bad. Supermodel. Just kidding. But see, you're starting to see the face come together. This is what, and this is the natural face that I do. I do a lot of other different kinds of makeup, but that's my favorite. This is my favorite. This is my go-to. This is what I like to wear. Now, the eyeliner I'm using is Stila. L'Oreal makes an art liner. They make other great liners that I love. Their waterproofs are amazing. But this is one that I go to because of for work. I need something that is going to stay as long as possible. And the L'Oreal does it as well. I find for some reason the Stila one is my go-to for sure. Start on the inside of the eye and go to the outside. Very simple. It's not a lot of hard work. And now, my eyebrow go-to. It's by Smashbox. It's their Brow Tech. It's the brunette. Here's the really great thing about this. So, there's the wax for my eyebrow, which I'm going to do right now. Now, on the other end of this amazing wax and thing, look, it's the sealant brush. You just unscrew it from the bottom, just like that, and you set your eyebrows. How cool is that? As you can see, my face is coming together. I'm happy that you're all still here. So at the end, I will go through all the products that I used, and hopefully you like them. Now I use literally 3 different mascaras. I use an Urban Decay, and it's the Big Fatty. I got this in a gift bag from my boss on my birthday, and I have got to tell you, I've I've loved it ever since. I love the wet texture of it because it makes my other mascaras that I use on top of it better. So I use 2. I use Benefit Bad Gal in black, and I use They're Real. All 3 of these mascaras together blend to give my lashes that incredibly fake effect. Keep in mind, I also use Stimulash on my eyelashes. There's a lot of different brands out there that are making eyelash enhancing stuff. From Elizabeth Arden Privage, they have one now. Neostrata just launched one. Dermaglow has one. I know that Urban Decay has a lash enhancer. I don't know how well it works, unfortunately. Also, the creators of Nano Blur have launched one as well. I'm sure it's going to be a great product. I just haven't had a chance to try it out. But when I do, when my Stimulash is done, I promise you I'll give it a shot and I'll let you know if it's working. So now, a little bit of my Big Fatty. Here we go. What I love about this brush is it's so damn big, which means my brush does all the work for me, as opposed to me having to do the work. Not that I'm lazy or anything, but so I always do 2 of the Big Fatty. Always. Here we go. Now you would think that that's enough. And sure, for some people it might be. But I don't wear a lot of makeup everywhere else. So for me, my mascara has to pop. While I wait for that to dry, which again was the Big Fatty in black. While I wait for that to dry, a few other steps that I like to do. So I have a NARS blush called Orgasm that I love. And I just, with my blush brush, just a tiny bit, I like to sort of put a little bit of color, because what you want to do is you want to layer the color, because if you don't, it's not good. You want to make sure that you have that dimension of color. You don't want the one dimension. I also use a highlighter. Do you see what that just did? Do you see the glow that it just put in my skin? My highlighter stuff right now is MAC in the Silver Dusk. However, Shiseido has just launched a brand new highlighter that I'm excited to try, because it doesn't have the glitter like all these other ones do. There is a bit of a shine of a glitter in here, so yeah. So here we go with my Big Fatty. Well, I've done my Big Fatty, and now I'm doing Bad Gal. So what you do is you get underneath and give it a good shake as you turn the brush. I know, we all look like retards when we put mascara on, don't we? But look at what that did already. Look at the difference. And now this is a matte finish mascara. And again, it's called Bad Gal. Bad Gal comes in a few different colors. It comes in the black, it comes in brown, and it comes in a plum. It's also available in waterproof, just so you're aware. And now my sealant mascara, which has the high gloss finish, is going to be their Real, also by Benefit. This one you don't need to shake. You don't need to twist up and around and all that other stuff. Look at the difference. So now that I think back to the word that I used when I said we all look retarded, I think that was a very, I don't think that that was an appropriate word to use while I was making that description. So I'm going to try and say, we all look a little crazy when we're putting on mascara. How about that? We look crazy, don't we? Now, one of my little secrets that I do is this. So this is a Stila pencil. It is in, oh gosh, I don't see the color here. Topaz, sorry. It's Topaz. And what I like to do is I line the very center of my eye here and here. And what this nude color pencil inside your eye does is it actually wakes your eyes up. Gives it that very like wide awake sort of feeling. And then on the outsides I use Urban Decay in Perversion, which is a waterproof water line eyeliner that you can use, and it really works. And there you have it. Not bad, huh? Oops. Pencil just made a run for it. And on my lips, I'm using Maybelline's newest addition to their lip stuff. It's Baby Lips. I love these products. I have it in pink. I have it in red. I love it. This one here is, oh gosh. It doesn't say the color on it, but it's the orange one. You can't miss it. It's Maybelline. So there you have it. And I like to top that off with a little bit of lip gloss. My go-to is this Clarins. It's the number 2. It's Gloss Protégé in number 2. And I gotta tell you, I absolutely love this. And as you can see, my face is very natural. You saw me put on all the makeup. I have quite a bit of makeup on, but yet it's still natural looking. Feel free to contour your nose and all those other places, but make sure you blend, blend, blend. It's so important that you have to blend. So now let's go back over everything that I used today. I started with my, where is it? I started with my Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer that I have apparently lost. And I just used it a few moments ago. So I used the Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circle. This is really great, honestly. I use the brightening one because I just do. There's other colors available. There is light, right up to dark, all available, and you'll love it. It's got such a great texture to it, and you can't even tell that I have any concealer on under my eyes, which is what I love about it. Foundation I used was the Studio Skin in 1.2 by Smashbox. It's available at any Shoppers Drug Mart, as well as the Maybelline. To do my skin, I used a Prep and Prime by MAC. Remember what I told you. A baby powder will do the exact same thing. Just be careful not to put too much baby powder on. You will get that grayish effect. So be very, very sparing with your baby powder if you're going to use it, okay? My eyeshadows that I love and I go to all the time are my Maybelline, my base here in 155, and my MAC Fresh Ice. It's a mineral. This is a really great one. It's huge. This is never running out. Like I'll probably have, I've already had this for almost a year and it's probably never going to run out. The eyeliner I used today for my eye was a Stila brand eyeliner. However, Smashbox brand eyeliner is also really great, and it's basically the same. What I love about this eyeliner is this. Watch. So I just put a line on my hand. Give it a second to dry. Look, it's not going anywhere. No matter how hard I push on this, no matter what I do, can you hear the friction? Exactly. It's not going anywhere. And now I have to clean it off. Good Lord. So then my blush I used today was the MAC in Sweet Whale Jam, and I used the highlighter in Pearl. All under my powder, by the way. Cream has to go under powder. Powder can go over powder. It's just how it works. And then I used this blush here. No, I used NARS, didn't I? Whoopsie. I used NARS Orgasm, and I used the MAC in Silver Dusk as a highlighter. On my eyebrows, I used my Brow Tech pencil by Smashbox, which is this thing right here. The one that I use is the brunette. And then remember, drawing in the brow, unscrew the bottom, setting the brow. And then my mascaras. Good Lord. I've got a lot of these on, don't I? But they work, and that's what matters. So I started with Big Fatty by Urban Decay. Then I went to Bad Gal Lash by Benefit, and I finished them off with They're Real, also by Benefit. All in black, by the way. And that's my face. That's my very basic face. Oh, and my baby lips. I can't go without that. I can't go without mentioning that. As well as my clearance. As you can see, a lot of my makeup is it's inexpensive mixed with expensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money to look great. That's all there is to it. I'm going to start trying to test at least one new product all the time. I'm going to start with some BB creams and or foundations from different brands, and then I'll get back to you and I'll show you the difference between this face done with this makeup and this face done with maybe a little more inexpensive makeup. How about that? I appreciate that you all took the time to watch my video. It's long. It takes me this long to get ready every morning before I go to work. I don't do a lot of talking, so it might be a little less than this, maybe about 20 minutes. But remember, you can get all of the brushes that I used at through Quo in our shop at Shoppers Drug Mart. The brushes are incredible. We do have pro brushes that are fairly expensive, and then we have the more inexpensive silver brand, which is the house brand of Quo as well. They're great brushes, folks. I don't know why you want to spend $60, $70 on a brush when you can spend $20 to $40 on the brush, and it's amazing quality. And remember, we have a return policy. If you're not 100% satisfied with your product, make sure to ask your beauty boutique expert, and they'll be able to let you know what the return policy is on that product, okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a blast, as always. Have an awesome day. Bye.